Hello, my name's Dan and welcome to King Dweeb Books. In this video I'll be sharing with you the series that I really like and that I've enjoyed. These books aren't meant to be in any particular order, they're just as I pick them up from the piles that I've got down there. I've got quite a few. Right, so let's kick things off with the first book, which is Cinder, which is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. I really like this series. I cannot wait for the next book in the series to come out next year. I mean, I think there's going to be like a prequel book, isn't there, to the series that's in the point of view of the evil Queen something or other. I forgot what her name is. Queen Livana, that's it. I have completely forgot what it's called, but I can't wait to see that one either, to see her point of view in things. I got into this because I saw it on BookTube, on a lot of BookTube channels, and I bought it when I was down London, and I bought the sequel as well, and these are the first two books. Those are the first two books that I marathoned, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good, so I can't wait for the next two books next year. The next two series are the Mortal Instruments series and the Infernal Devices series. Now, I have seen these books around, and I saw them before I started watching BookTube videos, but when I started watching BookTube videos I thought, well, shall we try them, see what they're like, and I really did like them. I mean, some of these did, like, I got into because of BookTube, but they are so good. I mean, I'm just hoping that the next book, in the last book in this one, when it's not in the massive big paperback format, and it's in this normal size, will stick to the same format. I'm just saying that, so please let that happen. The next series that I like are the Alex Rider series, which are the ultimate kids spy series. They are so good. I really enjoyed them. I liked how when you got further in, like to Scorpio, and then on from that, everything interlinked. I really enjoyed these books, and I would recommend them to anyone that wants to get into this kind of genre, but build themselves up. I mean, it is a fairly big series. There's not a lot of books, but it is kind of a big series. The next two books are part of the Department 19 series. I haven't got the first one because I gave it away, and I will tell you why, or give the reason why, in my next video. These books are about vampires, but done really well. It's nothing like Twilight. They are like proper vampires. There's Dracula, there's Frankenstein, there are werewolves. It's basically about this secret organisation, this secret government organisation that hunts vampires for a living, and it is such a good series. I cannot recommend this series enough. If you want to pick it up, I'd give it a go. I mean, the first book is not that thick, but they stay that thickness, I think, when you get into them. Though I think the last book, which is coming out next year, isn't as thick as these. I think it's just thicker than the first book, but they are really good books. I mean, these two, that one ends in a bloodbath, and this one starts in a bit of a bloodbath. It's a bit gruesome, so just be warned in that respect. The next two books are part of the Enemy series, which are The Enemy and The Dead. I do have the other books in this series, but I mean, there are far too many to have in the video. These are zombies. It goes that everyone over the age of 14 gets infected by this disease that infects their brain and their body, and they turn into basically zombies that eat people. They are good, but again, they are quite gruesome, especially this first book. And I'd recommend these if you want to get into the zombie genre. They are really, really good. These next two books are quite old, and they are part of the inheritance cycle, and they are Eragon and Eldest. These are the first two. I don't know whether the first two fantasy books. I'm going to go for the first two fantasy books that I ever read, and that was for the simple fact that I watched the film before reading this one, which I know you shouldn't really do, but I watched the film, enjoyed the film, and I read these two books, and I really, really enjoyed them. I mean, obviously the book was better than the film, and they've got dragons and magic, and they're just the good books. I really liked them. The next 4 books I have are part of the Cherub Series. These are the first 2 books in the first series, and these are the first 2 books in the second series. These books, I'd recommend them if you liked the Alex Rider series. There we go, took a while. These books were really good. I mean, it does say on the back, not suitable for younger readers, because of the simple fact that there is some swearing in them, and in one of the books there's a sex theme, and they were good. They were really good. I really enjoyed the first ones, where it's in the point of view of one character called James. Then these two and the other one after this one follow a character called Ryan, and they are really good. Basically Cherub is a secret organisation that trains kids as spies, because, as it says, who would suspect a child as a spy? The next 2 books are part of the Hensons Boys series. These are The Escape and Eagle Day. These 2 books are in the prequel series to the Cherub series, and it tells you how Cherub was set up. They are set in the Second World War, and again, it's training kids as spies, and they are good. These next 2 books are part of my all-time favourite series, and it is ending at the end of this month. And they are Skulduggery Pleasant and Skulduggery Pleasant Playing with Fire. These 2 books, this series is amazing. I mean, how good can you get from a living skeleton that can do magic? It is so good. The world is built up really well. I mean, the covers, as I've said in my previous video, the covers are brilliant. The images are brilliant. They are so good, and I really like them. I highly, highly recommend you pick these up, and I'm going to say it now, that if you have read them and you like them, please comment in the comment section below and tell me what you thought of them, as I want to hear other people's thoughts on these books. The next book is The Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. This is part of the Vampire Academy series. I read this book years ago, and I liked it, and I started the second one, but I couldn't get into it, and then I put it off. I didn't want to read it, and then I got into BookTube and started watching BookTube videos, and people on there really liked this series, and I thought, well, why not buy them again and start reading them again. I mean, obviously the film came out, so I read the first 2 books, watched the film, and I really enjoyed them. The film, it was okay. I mean, I think it tried to stick too close to the book, and I think that was where it kind of got let down. But I've read the first 3 books in this series, and I can't wait to get the rest of them and read them. The next book that I have is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. This is the first book in the Maze Runner trilogy, or the Maze Runner series, and I really liked it. Well, I say I really liked it. I liked the premise of the book. I mean, when I was reading it, I read it on the bus. I started reading it on the bus and I got a bit travel sick, and it's kind of, I think it was every time I went back to it, I kind of started getting a bit travel sick. I don't know why. I'm a bit of a weirdo with that, but yeah, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't like it, because I kept getting a little bit sick, like feeling a little bit ill and nauseous when I was reading it. But it was the story of it was good. It was a bit slow to begin with, but it did actually get going really well. I can't wait to get into the rest of the series, and I also can't wait to watch the movie that's coming out later this year. The next 2 books are part of the Gone series, and that is Gone and Hunger. These 2 books, I really liked them. I really like the series up to yet. The last book I have, which is called Light, I'm really anticipating getting into that. It's part of, I think at the minute it's in the pile of my TBR jar pile, the books that I've got in my TBR jar. So I can't wait to get into that. I really love that the pages are different colours. I really like this series. I thought it were kind of like The Enemy, but obviously no, there weren't any zombies, but people had superpowers and it was really, really good. The next book I have is Divergent, which is the first book in the Divergent trilogy. This is another book I got into because of BookTube. I mean, quite a few of these books that I've got, I had to think I've already said this, but quite a few of these books that I've got, I got into because of BookTube. Although this is one of the main trilogies out there that have been published, and it's just a good series, except for the controversial 3rd one, which I've seen some people like and some people not like. Again, another book that's part of the main trilogy set. So that is the Hunger Games. Again, this I got into this because I saw the film was coming out. I wanted to read it before the film, and I really enjoyed it. But the thing is, I lent it to my grandma, and the spine is a bit curvy. I mean, it's not much, but it annoys me a little bit. And I really liked these covers, and I hunted all over for the 3rd one to try and match. But I'll explain a little bit more in my next video about why that is annoying. Another of the main series or trilogies, whatever, the main series is Twilight. I really enjoyed this book. I first read them because I borrowed them off my sister, and it were good. It was good, but the films were something left to be desired, and yeah, they could have done a little bit better with the films. But the books are good. The books are good. The next book, which I know a massive lot of people on BookTube really enjoy, and that is the Percy Jackson series. I mean, this is the first one, The Lightning Thief, and I have noticed that people really, really enjoy this series. I got into this before I started watching BookTube videos, and they are really, really good. I really enjoyed them. And then also the other series, which is the Heroes of Olympus series. I've read the first 2 books of those and I really enjoyed them. And then also Rick Riordan's other series, which are the Chronicles. Those 2 those two series are also worth a mention as good books. And then we have the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is The Lost Hero. Again, really good books. Rick Riordan has really got like the Roman and Greek gods, and he's really done good with working them into like a modern setting, and it is really I really enjoy it. The next book that I have is the first book in the Time Riders series, which is Time Riders, and I think I'm going to say it for all these. I really enjoyed it. It's basically time travel where three kids, at the instances of their death, like minutes before their death, they get saved and get employed into the Time Riders, which are groups of people that go around. I think it's a little bit like Doctor Who, in the respect that the time travel and go to different parts of time, like the past, the present, and the future, and I think they kind of save. They're trying to stop time travel from destroying the world, basically, and I read that on the back of the book. But it is a good series. It is 9 books long. I think the last book is out. I think it's already out. But up to yet, I've only read the first 4 books, but I have really enjoyed them. The next book I have is the first book in the Dresden Files series, which is Stormfront. I've read the first 2 books in this long series. There are quite a few books, I think about 11 or 12 books in this series. Check out my Goodreads to see what I thought of them. And yeah, just they're good. Now, this next series, I'm unafraid to admit that I really liked them, and that is the Hush Hush series. The first one being Hush Hush, the second one being Crescendo, Silence I've got and read, and then the last book, which I still need to buy and read, is Finale. I really enjoyed this series. I thought there was a bit of dark mystery to it in the first one, and then it kind of carried on it picked up again in the third book. I did enjoy these, but I know quite a few people didn't, so I'm gonna stop giving them too much praise. The next book that I have is the first book in the Young Sherlock Holmes series, which is Death Cloud. This series follows Sherlock as he's growing up, like as a teenager, rather than the adult ones, obviously, because it's Young Sherlock Holmes. I am enjoying this series, and I'm wanting to pick up the next books in the series, but I may have to buy them again, like the first 5 books that I've got, because of something you will find out in my next video. These next 2 books are part of the Hungry City Chronicles, I think they're called, and they are Mortal Engines and Predator's Gold by Philip Reeve. This series really got me into the sci-fi genre, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the world was really well thought out. I liked that the cities were on wheels, the traction cities, and I really did like the characters in them. I thought the character development was really good throughout the books, and if you haven't read these, I'd recommend picking them up and reading them. Another 2 books I got into because of BookTube are Daughter of Smoke and Bone and Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. I can't really say anything much as to what other people have said, except for the fact that This world that she's built up is beautiful and beyond compare. The characters are really funny, like Susanna and Mick. Carew is brilliant, and I can't wait to get the third book, which is Dreams of Gods and Monsters. This trilogy is just so good, and I have really enjoyed it, and I don't want it to end. Oh my word, I've just killed one. I have really enjoyed it, and yeah, these covers are gorgeous. I got these from a shop called Tesco over here in the UK, or over here in England or whatever, and I hope the third book matches these covers. They are so nice. Wait till just let me get that one. They are really nice, and I hope the third book matches these. These next few books that I've got are the first ones in a series or a trilogy or a duology, and they are ones that I've read the first ones but not read or not bought the next ones. The first book is Boy Nobody. I mean, this kind of fits into the spy genre, like Cherub, Henderson's Boys, and Alex Rider. This is a good start to a series, and I can't wait to get the second one. The next book is the first book in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, which is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I have actually read these books, but I've never owned them, so I've started buying them, and these covers, these are the new adult covers. I don't know if they've only got them in the UK or England, or I don't know if they've got them anywhere else in the world, but if you can get them, I really, really like these books, these covers. They are so beautiful, and they even go onto the inside cover. They are gorgeous, and I'm obviously looking towards being a classic series that people read for years and years, I hope. The next book I have is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. This is the first Alien book I've ever read, and it was really good. It was really clever how he did it. Like, he pulled off where they were releasing themselves in waves, and attacking in waves, and I cannot wait to get the second book, which is coming out next month in the UK, I believe, called The Infinite Sea. I think everyone else did as well, is what they were talking about. When I read this and finished reading it, I got what's called a book hangover, where the books that I read afterwards didn't live up to this one, and it was really good. I just really enjoyed it. The next book I have is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I really enjoyed this book. The pictures in it, I really liked the idea of the pictures in the book, and I thought that they added another depth and level to the book that really worked for it, and I can't wait to get the second book. But however, it's not out in paperback yet. It's starting hardback, and I haven't seen a paperback release date for this country yet. I mean, the pictures in it, there are some quite creepy pictures like that one, if you can see it. But it is such a good book. I cannot wait to get the second one. As I said, I'm hoping that it's just as good as this one. The next book I have is The Iron Knight, which is the first book in the Iron Fey series by Julie Kagawa. I did mention in my previous video, I think it was, that I will be doing a full series review of this, so keep a lookout for that. But I enjoyed this book. The next book that I have is The Spooks Apprentice, which is the first book in the Spooks series by Joseph Delaney. This first book was really good. It took a while for me to get into it, but once I got into it, it really picked up and moved along. I cannot wait to see the movie next year, which is called The Seventh Son. I think it's the first 2 books condensed into the first movie, because even though, I mean, they are quite thin, but I think they do get a little bit thicker as you go along, and yeah, I really enjoyed this book. The next book that I have is Wool by Hugh Howey. I really liked the world that Hugh built up in this book, and it's different. It's dystopian, but it's not like the Hunger Games, where it kind of is like the Hunger Games, where there's different sections. I mean, they live in this thing called a silo, and there's like plots going on in the silos, people turning against other people, and I really enjoyed this book, and I can't wait to finish the second book and get into the third book. The second one is kind of like a prequel to the series, where it shows you the start of the ideas for the silos, and again, a really good series. The next book I have is The Final Empire, which is the first book in the Mistborn series or trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. Again, I've done a review on my Goodreads, so check that out. The next book that I have is the first book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. Although I don't know whether it's Leigh or Leigh Bardugo. And this book is really, really, really good. The magic in it is good. Where they can summon sun and darkness. I do really, really recommend that you get these books. I have got the second book. I mean, I've got 2 copies of the second book, so I'll give you the reason for that in my next video. So, but yeah, this is a good book. The next book that I have is Angel Fall by Susan E. I was recommended this by someone that works in a bookshop in near where I live, and I enjoyed it. It was a little bit slow in some places, but I did enjoy it, and I can't wait to get into the second book. Not long to go now. The next book I have is Legend by Marie Lu. This trilogy is based on a retelling of Les Miserables, or Les Mis, I don't really know how to say the full one, and it's good. Again, it is really good. The plot really moved along really, really, really fast, and it was so action-packed, and I can't wait to finish this trilogy. The next book that I have is Pure by Juliana Baggott, and this is a little bit like the Hunger Games, where there are people living in 2 different parts, but it is really, really good. It kind of follows that a war broke out, and people that were holding things, the things fused to them. Like there's someone that's got birds fused to his back, like it's got on this E here. There's someone that's got a fan in his neck, and then the main girl, Priscilla, she's got a doll head fused to a hand, and it is really good. And I can't wait to get into the second book, which is Fuse. And the third one, I do believe, is either out or coming out later this year. The next book I have is The Oakleys, which is the first book in the Oakleys series by Scott Westerfeld. I do believe I've done a review on my Goodreads of this book. So go check that out if I have. If not, then I will be uploading one or writing a review for this, and again, I really enjoyed this book. The last book that I have is Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. I probably butchered that name. This is set in London, and it's about this police officer that becomes a wizard, or gets trained to be a wizard, and he is kind of... apparently it's what Harry Potter would be if he grew up, and I really enjoyed this one. I still need to get the rest of the books in the series, but I cannot wait to read them. And that is it for this video, and those were the favourite books that I have, the favourite series that I have, either duologies, trilogies, or massive, big, long series. I will have another video up soon with my annoyances of books, or pet peeves in the book world. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and comment in the comment section below about which of the series that you liked, and if you've read any of these series, please give your thoughts on them in the comment section below. I'll leave links to my Goodreads and Twitter in the description so you can follow me on there. And again, I'll have another video up soon, so bye.